Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Happy Friday. I feel like this week I literally came over a hill and I'm finally starting to see the other side of the mountain. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that yesterday was the first. And I really tried to leave a lot of stuff that I have been dealing with in June and July. So when August 1st came, I was like, let's go. And I don't want to make it seem like I was just going through like crazy stuff, but internally I was going through a lot. I was battling sleep. Like I felt like I was tired for literally 40 days and 40 nights. So I had to really just get my life together. And yeah. So yeah, it's Friday. And I'm happy about that. It is the second day of our new month. So hopefully yesterday you really tried to set some things in motion to make sure that the rest of the year is good. And even if not, I won't say even if not the rest of the year, but sometimes, especially to me, like it gets daunting to think of trying to attack an entire 5 months or an entire year or an entire 6 months or whatever it is. But honestly, I'm doing it a month at a time. Like I've already said to myself, the rest of this year is going to be great, but I don't want to attack it as the rest of this year. I want to attack it the month of August. I know will for sure be great because I'm doing some things to get my life in order, and I'm setting up the rest of the month, and I'm setting up the rest of the year to be great by just doing small things day to day. So that's my encouraging word. Let's get into the goal for today because I kind of like this one. Not kind of, I do really like this one. So as always, God is blessing us. He's always going to be blessing us. The goal for today is to be proactive, okay? Be proactive. And what does being proactive mean? Pretty sure you guys should already know this. Well, I won't say should, but probably already know this. If you don't, of course, I'm going to give you the definition. To be proactive means that you are serving or you're doing something anticipating the next steps or with the next steps in mind. I won't say anticipating because sometimes anticipation can really make you feel anxious and nervous, and we ain't got them kind of feelings. That's not a blessed life. But you are doing something and with the next steps or with the next portion of life, of your journey, of whatever, you're doing it with you're doing whatever you're doing now with the next steps in mind, if that makes sense. And so why would we want to be proactive people? Number one, we want to be proactive people is because when we're doing things, we don't always want to think of how it's going to affect us right now in this moment as we speak right here, Friday morning at 7:34 in the morning. We don't always want to think that because everything that we do always has a reaction. And whether that reaction is a good reaction or a bad reaction, I feel like that's what we need to try to control with our current action, if that makes sense. So even though I'm doing this video series now and I'm not sure who's watching it, I'm not sure if anyone is watching it, I still need to make sure that I'm saying things, make sure that I'm doing things, make sure, how I'm presenting myself is thinking of the person that's watching it, is thinking of the people that may watch it next year, next month, in 10 years. You always want to think about that because I feel like a lot of times, and I've done this a lot of times too, I'm just so caught up in the moment. You hear people say that a lot. Oh, I just got so caught up in the moment that you weren't thinking of the people around you and how that could affect you down the line. And honestly, being caught up in the moment a lot of times is a very I'm going to say this and I hope I don't offend anyone, but it's a very immature mindset to be so caught up in the moment that you're not thinking of the people around you and the things around you. In some instances, not in all instances, sometimes being caught up in the moment could play out in your favor, but a lot of times people do silly things, and I'm speaking to myself, to be honest. A lot of times I have done silly things just because I've been so caught up in the moment, not thinking of how it's going to affect me later down the line or anything like that. And affect you later down the line doesn't mean like, oh, I'm spending $50 here at Target. Pray for me because I do have a slight Target edition, but I'm spending $50 here at Target even though I have bills to pay. Like that, obviously, that's just a dumb decision, but it could be spiritually too. Like what I say or what I do now, I don't understand or I don't fully comprehend how it's going to, or even if I do understand and comprehend, I'm not thinking about how spiritually it's going to affect me later down the line. Things that I watch, things that I say, things that I do, the people that I hang around, they all have an effect on my spiritual nature. And now, further down the line, I'm wondering why I may be bipolar, or I have anger issues, or I'm depressed, or something like that, or I have those feelings. So you always want to be proactive in your thinking of how whatever your action, or how whatever your actions that you're presently doing could possibly affect your spirit in the future. So yeah, that is what being proactive is. And that's what we're going to think about today, is just making sure that we understand our actions and the things that we say and the things that we do, and not just ourselves, but also the people around us. Because, anybody that we come in contact with, and especially people that we have a close relationship with, they are looking to us for something. Whether you know it or not, they're looking to you for something. So do not let that situation or that conversation or whatever have you go by without you possibly speaking a positive word to them, or just making sure that you're spreading some positive message to them, because you don't want them to leave your relationship, or leave your conversation, or just leave your presence feeling negative. So we always want to be proactive in our thinking, proactive in our actions, and just be proactive people, so that we can anticipate how things are going to affect us down the line, and possibly make some changes. Because if it's going to be a negative effect down the line, you should make some changes. And if you don't, you need to start over. That's all I got for that. If you don't, you need to start over. And I'm going to pray for you. And you can pray for me too. But yes, that is our goal for today, is to be proactive. I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.